Look, listen, at the end of the day, these videos are just predictions and they could be totally wrong, okay? But I just want to come on here and say I think Ferrari is going to win the Constructors and the World Drivers' Championship this year in 2026. And I'm going to say it because last year I said that Lando was going to win. And although it got a little shaky there for a while, you scared us, Lando. He did end up taking it in the end. I could be totally wrong. But I think this year Ferrari is going to take it all, despite the fact that everyone thinks Mercedes is going to win. Okay? I think Mercedes is probably the favorite in most people's eyes for both categories. If they do win it, they're definitely not going to win it without putting up a fight. Like Ferrari definitely had their elbows out, and it was so fun to watch that I'm hoping that that is pretty much the narrative for the rest of the 2026 Formula One season. If every race is like how it was in Australia, we're in for a treat, boys. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. Did y'all see the smile on Lewis's face? This man was so happy. He got fourth. He's happy because he knows that he's going to be fighting for it this year. Like he can see that there's potential in the car, and it seems like he's really comfortable with the strategies. Sorry. Whoa, pause. Okay. Not with the strategy, okay? It seemed like he was pretty distraught about the strategy in Australia, okay? But it seems like he's very comfortable with the 2026 regulations, is what I meant to say. He's comfortable with the regulations. Seems like he's adapting very well, and so is Charles. I don't know why I'm leaving Charles out of here. I'm sorry. But there's no Charles disrespect, okay? They both seem like they're very comfortable with the regulations and are pretty comfortable with that rocket of a car that they got off the line. Like it seems like right now, if Ferrari were to fumble, which they have in the past, it's not because they don't have a competitive car or competitive drivers. I think the real testament for this year is going to be if their strategy is, if they have a bunch of blunders throughout the year, is their car and their drivers enough to compensate for the strategy? I'm hoping that's not the case. Seems like, it was like, if we're going to mess up on strategy, at least you did it in the first race and got it over with, Now, for the rest of the year, you got to do better, okay? Because you guys did the exact same thing that McLaren did last year. And it's like, we didn't learn. I don't know. But I think Lewis is probably going to take that driver's championship. The opposite could happen, and Charles could win his first. So it's just right now, it seems like who's going to want it more? I don't know, but I'm here to see Lewis win that eighth. Like, I want Charles to win his first as well, so I would not be mad if Charles won. But this is all under the assumption that Mercedes somehow loses it, which, again, they've got an amazing car, amazing drivers. Kimi was great. George is great. We'll just have to wait and see. But it seems like that Ferrari, even though it's like technically off the pace, the fact that it's a rocket ship off the line, like going from fourth to first within the first turn in Australia from Charles, like that's nuts. And even though maybe the car doesn't match the pace of Mercedes over a single lap, who knows? You know what I'm saying? But the fact that that thing is like, pew, I'm here to see what's going to count more in the end and what's going to matter more in the end. I honestly just wanted to put my opinion out there because I want to be able to watch this in like 6 months and see whether or not it's like really downhill for us or really like, oh, you know what? Like, man, that was pretty close. We'll just have to wait and see. But I'm rooting for Lewis or Charles. If not Lewis, Charles. But it's got to be Ferrari. It's got to be Ferrari this year. It's been a long time coming. But I do think the overall theme this year is that it's Mercedes versus Ferrari. It just seems like Mercedes and Ferrari have a leg up against everyone else on the grid. And yes, there's going to be upgrades that are coming to the other teams and the other cars. And yes, not every track is going to be like Australia. Like a lot of things can change. So this is like a wild prediction and it could be wildly wrong. Anyways, let me know what you think is going to happen this year. We're only one race in. So whatever our predictions are could be so far off and things can change dramatically just within a couple races. So curious to know. If you don't watch Formula One, this is a great year to get started. So start watching it.